I currently live in a smaller ruralish town. It's pretty removed but still has a lot of good shopping and eating options and public spaces. We even have a few breweries and bars now. It's a newly hip place, with farming on the outskirts so I can get my eggs and veggies fresh from the source. The pandemic really hurt business locally though, and pretty much the only regular delivery options was Walmart and Amazon for a minute. I was pretty stoked when much later more local options popped up on various apps. However, at this time for main necessities and grocery items there wasn't any options besides getting a store delivery from the Walmart a town over. This meant a lot of people we didn't know well popping through, and it drove some of the older folks crazy, all over the neighborhood talking about cars and people they didn't recognize. I embraced it. It made my life easier. It was great for a bit, so at this point I lived with my teenage son who is a gangly 6 feet 4 inches, and my then boyfriend staying to be near his elderly parents. He's 6 feet 3 inches and broadly built. It's a tiny space and I felt a little cramped with the big guys always around. So once in a while I'd send them off on an errand, or they'd visit my boyfriend's parents and give me some space to work on things or just enjoy being alone. One of those days I got a delivery. I recognized the guy and said hi. Tipped him well, and went about my life. An hour later he was back at my door. He was kind of weird. He was creepy because I have steps in front of my door, but no porch. He would knock and stand beside the steps where I couldn't see him through the eye hole. But I could see him through my window he was next to. So I talked through the window. "Can I help you? I have window film over the lower window for privacy. But I can stand on my couch and see through the upper window above people's heads, and see outside, and the upper window pulls down too to let in air multiple ways." He kept trying to look for where my voice was coming from before answering and telling me he forgot a bag in the delivery. I confirmed I got it all and thanked him. He left. I didn't want to open the door again after he noticed I was alone. I got new neighbors directly in the unit across from me. They got a Ring camera. She reached out to me and told me someone came by knocking and had sat on my steps for about half an hour. I was down at my boyfriend's house with my son at the time and she sent me the Ring cam image. It looked like that guy, and it was like 8 p.m. I didn't have any open orders either. I reached out to Walmart and they were totally unhelpful. They told me they'd be making sure he didn't deliver anything to me in the future, but wouldn't give me any info I could pass on to security or the police, in case anything further happened. I wanted to at least file a report with my security in case anything happened again because it felt really weird. But they told me the police would need to reach out. I had the feeling it would escalate, and it did. I didn't want to be home alone anymore. I didn't order delivery. I just tried to cover my bases. However, my neighbor did order a delivery. And somehow it came through that guy again. So he was in the property anyway and just 3 feet away from my door. The creepy thing was, I heard it being dropped off and had the urge to look through the peephole and saw him standing right in front of my stairs, looking around my door and living room windows. He stood there for like 5 minutes until my neighbor upended the door to get her groceries, and I told her, "That's the guy from the Ring camera." She contacted Walmart too, and asked he doesn't deliver anything anymore. A few weeks went by and Christmas was around the corner. I had ordered a few items from Amazon and they were all arriving together. I knew they were on my front porch. I could hear them being dropped off, and the delivery guy knocked. I saw him walk off. My boyfriend was on the couch with his headphones on working, and I was cooking dinner. I figured I'd grab them in a moment. They are fine on my steps at the moment. There's a camera there. If anything happens, it'll be 5 minutes at most. I finished plating and brought the food in, and as I was setting the plates down, the front door knob, which wasn't locked, gave a tiny turn. The deadbolt was still latched, but the knob wasn't, and I could hear it. My boyfriend couldn't. I stopped and pointed it out. My boyfriend is completely oblivious to these kinds of things. He took his headphones off, peeking through the top window, and said, Oh, you must be hearing things. No one's touching your doorknob. There's no one out there. He walked over and ripped the door open to show me there's nothing there. But there's the guy again, crouched up against the wall under the window, hands still on the knob trying to turn it silently. He looked horrified seeing him opening the door, and when my son came up too, he looked really confused. He asked for me. He must have known my name from the deliveries because he used the name I have on my account, which isn't the name everyone knows me by. My boyfriend asked what he needed, and the guy reached down and picked up the Amazon box and said, "Delivery," and handed it off and then left. It was really strange. I explained to my boyfriend that he was not delivering those boxes, they were already there. We took the footage to the police and I tried to reach out to Walmart. The police told me they reached out to Walmart and just got a bunch of clueless basic customer service agents with no idea how to proceed. And that if he came back I need to call them ASAP so they can get to him in person. I was really scared though. I was glad he knew I wasn't in the house alone now, but I felt like he might take more drastic measures knowing that too. I don't know how people like that think, so I was just running through every possible scenario. The sprinkler system automatically kicks in at 11 p.m. It cycles through the plot of land for an hour. It starts at my bedroom wall, which faces the parking lot. By midnight it's gone around the entire space in tandem and reaches the front lawn space to the right of my front door. I'm in bed when I hear it click on. It's noisy because it hits gravel too. It covered up a lot of the sounds. When it switched off to the next area, I heard a strange shuffling. We have a lot of cats outside though, I wasn't too alarmed. There's one window at the side of my house that faces the front lawn spots, but it's blocked off by a large entertainment system. It's the only blocked window I have, and besides my bedroom window it's also the only one not visible from the Ring camera. But all my windows are always locked overnight. The next morning when I was leaving for work, the window screens were both removed and placed beneath the windows. There was handprints smudged all over the glass. There was no clear footprints, just deep muddy sloshes. I filed another report and they were similarly unhelpful. Basically telling me I needed a camera and to stay up to make sure I could see it happen and call in. I didn't even bother contacting Walmart again. They were totally useless. The last thing to happen was when my BF was coming over pretty late. He worked a long day. He came up around 3 a.m. I knew he was coming, but I was woken up by loud fighting outside. He had pulled into the parking lot and this guy was underneath my car. He scrambled under when the car was pulling in. My boyfriend pretended to walk to the front door and watched him slide out and try to hide behind the parked cars, but it looked like he was messing with my car. He had him pinned and I called the police. There was an air tag taped under my car. He was trying to track me away from my house. The guy was arrested with other charges too. I didn't hear anything else from it. I gave statements and incident report numbers and was told I might need to testify, but it's never happened. I haven't had any incidents since then though.
But if I lay down and I play dead and I stay dead, baby you'll get sick of being the monster.